What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Great League. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a nice 12-game win streak that I had here in the Open Great League, running this team of Water Gun Lantern and then Frostlass on the safe swap and Noctowl in the back. I first saw this team comp, I believe, on Tho Technical's live stream on Twitch, so big shout out to Tho, really great content creator on Twitch and YouTube. And this team just looked like a lot of fun. It's 3 Pokemon that I really haven't used too frequently. Out of all these 3, I've probably used Frostlass the most, but not really in Open Great League too much. So, but this pairing is really strong, of having 2 Pokemon in the back that can handle Lantern's worst matchups, being stuck against grass types. And I do enjoy running Water Gun Lantern here just for a more solid G-Fisk matchup. However, that does make you weaker to opposing Lanterns that might be running Spark, as is the case against my opponent right here. But Frostlass can hit back for some neutral damage with Shadow Ball, and even Noctowl able to hit for some neutral damage with Shadow Ball as well. So went on a nice 12-game win streak here, and I do include the final loss in this video as well. And I believe I only lost because I made some misplays. I don't think it had anything to do with the team comp here. But Frostlass on the safe swap is a really strong Pokemon, and this team is just a lot of fun. If you're looking to pick up a lot of wins in Great League, I would recommend this team as it performed very well. In this situation, I have to have enough energy on my Noctowl that I can KO this Altaria with the Sky Attack and then reach a Shadow Ball against that Lantern here. So I'm farming up as much as I can before Dragon Breaths are going to take me out. 1 wing attack away from getting to the Shadow Ball, and I'm able to get there and take this game. What a sweaty first game of me using this team. Absolutely insane. Good game. Lantern into Shadow Hypno. Shadow Hypno has really fallen out of the meta, but these confusions still really chunk, and I'm not quite sure what move that this Hypno is going to throw, but they are farming up to a lot of energy. They're past an Elemental Punch. They're pretty much at 7 confusions here, so I will shield this up. And it ended up being a Focus Blast. Now, if a Grass type comes in, I do want to pivot out of here. They end up bringing in a Whiscash. I could still pivot out of here if I wanted to. Them sacking their Hypno like that means that they might be weak to the Lantern in the back, so I do opt to go for my Frostlass here, and I can safely absorb this Mud Bomb damage. I still have energy stored. They actually have a Wigglytuff in the back, so not what I anticipated at all. But the nerf to Charm is really helpful to Frostlass here, able to get to 1 last-second Avalanche here before this Charm is going to knock out my Frostlass. And that's a lot of damage on the Wigglytuff. I really don't want this thing to get to a charge move, so I end up throwing this Surf before they're able to reach a charge move here. Down goes the Wigglytuff, and out comes the Whiscash once again. Now, this is potentially going to be in a range where 1 Sky Attack plus a lot of Wing Attacks will be able to take it out. So I do throw 1 Sky Attack. Now, I do know that I survive a Blizzard, but I end up shielding this anyways. They do bait me, nice play, and you will see the Blizzard connect here. I end up losing the CMP tie, and you can see my IVs on the screen there. I unfortunately do not have a Noctowl with an attack breakpoint for the G-Fisk matchup. If you don't know what that is, you have to have a Noctowl with a certain amount of attack in order for your wing attack damage to do a little bit more damage to G-Fisk, and it makes that matchup a lot cleaner in the 1 and 2 shield. I recommend that you check out Swag Tips Noctowl PvP IV deep dive here on YouTube. I still have yet to build a new Noctowl. This is just one that I've had for a long time, and I believe this is actually the rank 1, so it is very bulky, but it does miss that attack breakpoint. So against the Frostlass here, things are looking good. I shield the Shadow Ball, throw 1 Surf and farm down. Out comes Thorn. No reason to stay in that matchup. Going to use my pivot. Even though I'm down a shield, you'll see in a lot of these games, even though I go down a shield very early on, because I have 2 very strong checks to grass in the back, I'm more than fine just pivoting out of that matchup. And they're staying in with the Thorn. This is totally fine by me. This core of Lantern and Noctowl is very strong. I have essentially a full health Lantern with energy, and I can bring out my Noctowl, farm this thing all the way down. They have their own Noctowl in the back, and I can easily throw the Sky Attack and pivot out into my Lantern once again, and things are looking good here. I'm just going straight for the Surf. Because I'm running Water Gun here, the fast move pressure is going to add up over time, so I really just need any chip damage I can get in this matchup here. They are throwing Shadow Ball. That's totally fine. Again, I'm just going straight for the Surf, not even building up to the Thunderbolt energy, because I'm just looking for any chip damage I can. And now I know that my Noctowl can safely close out this game, so absolutely no reason to shield this. I can bring in my Noctowl. They bring out their Thorn once again, but we're going to be able to take this game no problem. Going to end up no shielding this, and it's just a Power Whip. And then I can easily farm their Noctowl down and take that game there. Prime example of winning the lead very hard and preserving my Lantern for the late game. Okay, shiny Miltank running Rollout, generating energy very quickly, and these stab body slams are really going to be chunking here. Now, Miltank in the lead, there could be about 1,000 different things in the back. I have no idea. But typically when you're running an ABB team like this, I do need to pivot out of this matchup eventually. There's always a case where they could have a G-Fisk or a Bastiodon in the back, so I do not want to stay in there. I catch a double resisted body slam onto my Frostlass here, and they end up going into a Drapion. This team is absolutely wild. Gonna let this go through. They end up going for Fell Stinger, which was very surprising. I'm gonna throw this Avalanche and see what they want to do. Poison Sting as the fast move, and then Fell Stinger as a charge move is a really unique combination. They end up baiting me again, so really unfortunate. And they're at another charge move here. I'm going to commit both shields, and they have gone triple Fell Stinger and gotten all of my shields, which is just insane. So really unique play from my opponent there, but I'm still going to be able to win this matchup with Frostlass, no problem. I still have that Miltank to deal with. They end up bringing in a Trevenant, and they catch this Avalanche on their Miltank. I am so okay with this, because guess what we have in the back, folks? The hardest counter to Trevenant there is. So Noctowl absolutely walls off this Trevenant, and we're going to be able to take that game there. Good game. Lantern into Azumarill. This is definitely favorable. Less favorable when you're running Water Gun, but still pretty good. Out comes Swampert. Now, we don't have a direct response to this, so I am going to chip it and then most likely go into Noctowl. Try to catch an Earthquake here. So I do catch a move. Are they running Earthquake? No, they're actually running Sludge Wave. I have not seen a Swampert running Sludge Wave in a long time, so pretty surprising there. If they end up bringing their Azumarill back in, Noctowl will still be able to get some nice neutral damage there. They don't get to another charge move. I really thought that they were there, but I'm very surprised they didn't get to a Hydro. Going to throw the Shadow Ball against the Skarmory that they bring in, and now we're looking really good here. We even got to a second Shadow Ball. I now have my Lantern for their Azumarill, but honestly, Lantern has the most play against both of these Pokemon. They end up bringing in their Azumarill. I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball here, and kind of poor timing on my part. I let a bubble go through there. I do get a shield. I can safely go back into my Lantern here, and I will shield this up. They bait. Oh, they do go for Play Rough. So, good shield on our part. Water Gun generates energy much slower than Spark does. That is for sure, and it really hurts in this matchup, definitely. But all I need to do is be able to get to that Thunderbolt. I do survive a Play Rough, but I'm going to end up shielding this. It's going to do the most damage out of anything that would be thrown at me. Out comes the Skarmory. We're going to farm it all the way down and throw a couple more Water Guns, and then throw this Thunderbolt. We'll see how much damage this does on the Azu. A good chunk there, and then we're able to Water Gun down and take that game. Good game. This team performing very, very well. Whiscash in the lead. The second Whiscash that we have seen so far. We've seen a lot of Swamperts, good amount of Whiscash as well, which is pretty surprising. I end up just going into my Frostlass here and pivoting it out, seeing what they want to do. They end up trying to catch an Avalanche on their own Frostlass. Very risky play. If it would have paid off for them, that would have been huge. But see you later, Frostlass. We go straight for the Shadow Ball, and is this a game where my opponent concedes? No, they're still... Oh, actually, this is a prime example of either their app crashed or they manually closed their app. Whenever they stop attacking like that, and then there's a little bit delay after the charge move. So my opponent tried to catch that Frostlass, or the Avalanche on their Frostlass, which would have been a really nice play. Technically, like two Avalanches plus a bunch of Powder Snow does almost KO a Frostlass. So even if they didn't make that catch, I was so far ahead on energy, we were still looking good. They end up having a Noctowl in the back. We would have been able to flip swap in our favor regardless, which means that our Lantern would have been against their Noctowl, and our Noctowl would have been against their Whiscash. Would have been pretty favorable for us there. Okay, once again, I pivot straight into my Frostlass, and this is met with a Talonflame. Now, if you can correctly time your fast moves here and be very careful with your energy generation, you can watch how this matchup plays out here. It's pretty incredible. I get one shield with the first Avalanche. They are really farming up a lot of energy. They double shield. They're trying to farm me down, but we get to 3 Avalanches and flip switch advantage in our favor, and we have a 2 shield advantage, and my opponent says, no way, I'm not dealing with that. Good game. All right, G-Fisk in the lead. This is exactly why we're running Water Gun. It looked like they either lagged a little bit in the beginning or it was just visual lag. So I'm just going to throw this Surf. I always want to get this charge move off before they can throw their first move so I can dictate where the shields need to go. I'm always going to shield this first move. They do end up baiting. Nice play. But they're not able to get to an Earthquake there. Out comes a Grass type, which is Venusaur, and there's absolutely no reason to stay in there because we have 2 checks to Grass in the back. So again, I win the lead really hard. I go down a shield, but I essentially still have 3 full health Pokemon, and we're going to be able to get our Noctowl aligned with their their Venusaur in the back. And this is actually the team that I showcased pretty early on, G-Fisk, Pelipper, Shadow, Venusaur. So you can kind of see how this team stacks up against that team. If you get Noctowl positioned correctly, it's just so dominant. Lantern, very, very bulky, can easily tank that Hurricane, and then this is game over. Noctowl easily going to be able to take out the Venusaur there. And we're picking up another win. This team is performing very, very well. I do start encountering some Trevenants, I believe, coming up in these next couple games. Here's an Alolan Marowak, really positive for me. But this game is absolutely insane. I don't have a response to a Galvantula. So in my head, I'm thinking, I have a Noctowl and a Lantern. How do I lose this game? These are 2 very hard counters to Alolan Marowak. But this Galvantula goes on a frenzy here. I was really hoping that they were going to bait me, but they go straight for the discharge. Nice play. And they end up double shielding their Galvantula and farming my Frostlass down before I can get to another move. This is not great because this Galv is going to be able to get to 2 charge moves on whatever I bring in. Gonna bring in my Lantern and let this first move go. They do go for Lunge, but they're able to get to another move. I definitely have to keep some health on my Lantern here. I will shield this up, farm down, and then probably have to clear my debuff and just blind swap. They have a Lapras. I cannot swap my Noctowl into this, but I am double debuffed. This is terrible. Now I'm going to bring out my my Noctowl, and I know that my Lantern has the most play. They're running Ice Beam! Ice Beam Lapras! And then they tried to catch the Sky Attack on their Alolan Marowak, but I anticipated it, and so I throw the Shadow Ball. That's not enough to knock them out. I do reach this Sky Attack here, but this is going to give the Lapras even more farm, and I need to try to reach a Thunderbolt, but I generate energy so slow, and I'm energy dry. This Lapras is running Ice Beam and Surf. They bait me with Surf. I am not going to be able to reach a Thunderbolt. I'm like 1 Water Gun away. And so I just go for a last second Surf. Potentially would have been able to get to that Thunderbolt, but I was not risking it. I barely reached the Surf and barely win that game. That was insane. Good game. Another G-Fisk in the lead. This is why we run Water Gun. They're staying in. It is important that you try to time your move in between their mud shot there, or you force the CMP tie to not give them any energy, because this matchup gets very close to them being able to get to an earthquake if they bait you. So they did bait me with the rock slide, and they ended up shielding my move. I am totally fine double shielding this if this is the earthquake. This is the earthquake, and they end up staying in, keeping track of their energy. I know that they're not going to be able to reach another earthquake, and so this is just a rock slide. I can water gun them down, and we are looking very good here. Out comes a Charm Alolan Ninetales. So I'm going to chip this with the Surf. And then throw another Surf here. I'm very close to a third Surf. Let's see what my opponent wants to do. But they catch on a Tapu Fini. I thought it was an Azumarill. Really nice play. Now I know that they have an Alolan Ninetales there in the back, but you can see how well Noctowl handles this matchup. I'm down a shield, by the way, and Noctowl can still hang with this matchup no problem, which is pretty crazy. I can get to 2 Sky attacks before they can reach a Moonblast and a Surf. So even in the 0-1s, Noctowl hanging with this Tapu Fini matchup no problem. I farm them down. They have that Alolan Ninetales in the back, which is very low health. Totally fine by me. I bring out my Frostlass here, and then we're able to take that game. Good game. Okay, Medicham in the lead. I swap into my Frostlass. I have 2 better responses to this in the back. They make a very, very late swap into their Lantern. I have a lot of energy stored here. I would like the flip switch advantage here, or at least try to get a shield advantage. Now, if I can correctly shield up a Thunderbolt, that's really good. I do shield up the Thunderbolt. That's very good for me. I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball here, just in case they no shield. But they do shield. Definitely could have Avalanche baited there. And at this health range, Avalanche should be just enough to KO. They're going straight Thunderbolt, and I'm really glad they're not baiting me. I'm at 2 Avalanches here, so let's see where they want to spend their shield. They shield that. I go for an immediate punish with this second Avalanche. And see you later, Lantern. We now have switch advantage, but I have no shields. This is kind of scary. Medicham comes back in. It had a lot of energy loaded. It's going to dump a Psychic here, but I can get my Noctowl aligned. If there's a G-Fisk in the back, this is very bad. So we'll see what they want to do. If it's a Trevenant, then we're looking pretty strong here. But they're going to chip me with an Ice Punch, and then it's their own Noctowl. We are totally fine. Winning switch advantage in the secondary matchup totally solidified the game here. They go for the Shadow Ball. No problem. Going to go for this Thunderbolt. The only way I lose this really is if Medicham gets enough farm that they can reach 2 Ice Punches. So I just need to guarantee that my Lantern is low and has some energy stored. So able to farm that down. I just need to get some chip damage against this Medicham. I go for the Thunderbolt, the harder hitting move, but I really need to be able to switch out of here. I can switch right there. I should have swapped sooner and not taken that counter damage. I have all this energy stored though, so we're going to be able to take this game. Good game. Okay, Lantern into Trevenant. Bad lead for me. Going to go straight into my Frostlass, and they respond with the G-Fisk. Now, in this scenario, you either have to try to fight for switch advantage or hope that your Noctowl can sweep whatever's in the back. Because otherwise, this is going to be a team comp that is pretty much impossible to beat. Lantern cannot do anything to Trevenant. You're totally walled there. And G-Fisk, unfortunately, can hang in this matchup really, really well. If they don't give you too much of an energy advantage in the opening there. I'm able to get to another Avalanche here. And I potentially could have caught this Rock Slide onto my Lantern, but then I would have been hard punished by that. No, that definitely was the play that I needed to do there. They do get to a parting Rock Slide here, but what do they have in the back? What is in the back? Oh, it's a Medicham. We still have a fighting chance here. To be honest, I didn't know how much damage Shadow Ball would do, so I throw Sky Attack here. In hindsight, I think Shadow Ball was the play. because that would have put it in an easier farm down range for sure. Medicham would have been dead by now, and I wouldn't have had to throw this energy. So definitely a misplay on my part. But I'm able to get this Sky Attack off on the Trevenant, and it's going to be very challenging for them to be able to Shadow Claw me down. And we're able to catch the move on the Lantern, and this solidifies the game. So despite being kind of hard countered in a couple of places there, we're able to take that game. And here is the game that I lost, and I totally threw this. Out comes a Medicham. I respond with Noctowl. In hindsight, Frostlass might have been the better play here. They're running Ice Punch, and I get a little too greedy in this matchup. I should have thrown my Sky Attack. Well, I wouldn't have been able to. I can't throw my Sky Attack before their Ice Punch because they outpace me. But look at this. They're going to fight for swap, and they recognize that in the 2 shield, because they landed that Ice Punch, they're going to be able to take out my Noctowl. Now, if I would have shielded that first Ice Punch, it would have been a different story. Then they would have just taken the shield advantage and run with it. And if I remember correctly, they end up having a Trevenant in the back, I believe, or this might be the opponent that actually had the victory bell in the back. We'll have to wait and see here, but I lost switch advantage. They land last second Ice Punch, and isn't it Trev? Right, wasn't it Trevenant? I believe it was Trevenant. So very well played to them. This unfortunately was my loss, but this team went on an amazing winning streak, and it's a very solid team for Great League that I highly recommend. Thank you, Tho, for the inspiration there. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.